So this is a follow on ICP, and this is textbook. We expected a rejection. We got a rejection. We expected a pullback. We got a pullback. We're holding support. And I want to show you something now, because are we overbought? Are we oversold? We're going to go in different time frames to understand exactly what the next likely move is going to be for ICP. We've rejected at the 200 daily moving average. That's created weakness. We expected a pullback. Where did we expect a pullback? We've got this diagonal here. Where did we get a reaction? At the diagonal. What was that level? $5.02. We've got $5 as a psychological round number. We are getting oversold, oversold, oversold. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And ICP is trying, it is trying, it is trying, but it's got a big daddy that is stopping it, beating a barrier and pushing it back down. That big daddy is sat here at $5.55. That big daddy is the 200 daily moving average. And you can see how price reacts to this. You've got a rejection, you've got a rejection, you've got a rejection, you've got a rejection. You broke through, and then that was met by a resistance barrier, which pushed price back below the 200 daily moving average. So we need to understand and we need to identify what's the first thing we need to do. We need to take back this 200 daily moving average. Have we got enough momentum to take back the 200 daily moving average? Have we got enough force to be breaking through that ceiling and smashing it through with such force that we're going to take out the previous resistance levels and then get to this, the acceleration gap that we were talking about? The acceleration gap is going to create a surge to the upside with little resistance. If we just zoom out, you can see that's the little resistance all the way $9.26, and we're currently sat at the break of this trend $6.24. So you can see a big gap there. That big gap, 47% to the upside, 47% to the upside with little resistance. So that's why it's important to understand and prepare when you're down here and not up here. When you're up there, you're expecting to be getting a pullback from this next resistance point. When you get a pullback from that next resistance point and you're buying pumps up here, what's that doing? That's putting your P&L into a loss. That's what's that doing to your mindset? It's creating negative sentiment. It's creating fear, and it's making you think and doubt yourself exactly whether that was the right move or not. Guess what? If you're buying up here, probably wasn't the right move, because it's confirmation and not resistance. You're not buying at resistance, you're always buying at support. So while we're talking about support, is ICP at support? Is it at resistance? We understand that we've got this diagonal trend line. We know that it's been respected because it's bounced, it's bounced, it's bounced, it's bounced. That's where we got a reaction from, and that's $5, and that's a psychological key round number. We talk about it, psychological key round numbers, they're sticking points. So it's stuck at the $5, it's stuck at the trend line. Now we need to look, are we overbought, are we oversold? So we're on the daily chart, and you can see we've got a tiny bit of wiggle room, to come back down on here, and that could play out in the next day. Don't expect this to just go up like that. You could get some kind of a double bottom, a retest, and then a push to the upside. So on the daily, we understand exactly where we are. We're coming into oversold territory. That's a tick. We've pulled back. We're coming back. We're holding a higher low. We're coming into oversold. That's a tick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the stochastic RSI on the different time frames, and that's going to give us an indication, not just on the daily, but on the 12-hour, on the 8-hour, on the 4-hour. Are we overbought? Are we oversold? Because we know we're at support. We just need to be oversold at that support. So look on the daily. The 12-hour, sorry. Look at the 12-hour, you can see here, hugely, hugely, hugely oversold. Not are we oversold? If we double click there, you can see one thing that's happening. We're crossing over. So expect a push to the upside on the 12-hour. When you get a push to the upside on the 12-hour, that's going to push price to the upside. The aim of the game is to see, can we break, in this instance, the 200 moving average instead of the daily 200 moving average by the time this comes back to the top here. We need to break this. We need to close above this. Make a mess of the chart. We need to break that, and you need to close above that. That's the short term, $5.31. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into a shorter time frame, and we're going to say, are we overbought? Are we oversold? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the 8-hour. And what you can see is exactly the same thing is happening on the 8-hour. You're oversold. You've got a cross. Expecting a push to the upside. Where are we expecting to be? Remember, we talked about in the previous video, you want here between $5.28 and $5.46, really. That coincides with the 12-hour moving average up here. So 8-hour oversold, 12-hour oversold, daily coming into oversold. What about the 4-hour? Massively oversold, crossing over and coming back above the 20 level. So you can see while we're at support, we're expecting a pushback to the upside, and it's how high and how far can we go on the push to the upside. And that's what I'm going to be monitoring with you guys. Jump into the Discord group because we're going to follow it on there. I'm going to be doing your chart requests later on today. So you got Polygon, you got XLR, you got XLM, you got Link, you got Waxo, you got VTHO, you got VET, you got all of these different chart requests. So I'm going to be doing an altcoin marathon later on today. If you want to be heard, jump into the Discord group. Link in the description below. You will start here with a bunch of people saying hi. Scroll right to the top, solve this capture, and then you get access to these main servers. This is where we all chat. This is where we all drop charts. This is where we all share our stories. This is where we all meet friends. So don't forget, jump in the Discord group. ICP is looking good to me. We're holding support. We've got all these different timeframes that are oversold, ready to make a push to the upside. So we're going to be in this together. We're going to watch this together. We're going to see how far this push up is, and then it's going to help us understand and identify how you can plan and prepare for the next move going forward. So we've got Polkadot next before the big marathon, and I'll see you in the next one.